What's up, everybody? Today we're taking more questions from viewers. Remember, like, comment, subscribe down below, and if you have a question, please comment below or send me an email directly and I'll answer them. On to today's question. So this one says, "Hey Jake, love the content, man." Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you. It's seriously appreciated because, like you mentioned, not too many guys are talking about this. This is true. My first question to you is in regards to cost of the hairpiece/service. I was quoted at $379 per month, or a total of $4,548 per year. Unsure about how any of this works or its true value. The owner explained that the hairpiece would last 3 weeks, then I'd have to return for the reapplication. Could you please give me your thoughts? I'd seriously appreciate it. I absolutely can give you my thoughts on this right here. So when we're talking about price, when we're talking about hair systems, there's many things that we've got to consider when it comes to the price, right? So one of the common things that we think about is the price of the actual individual unit. Now, you could buy some online. You're probably going to be able to find them cheaper than a stylist. But of course, if you go in and get them cut in, right? So they'll cut your hair basically and match the hair unit for you. They'll bond it to your scalp, all of this stuff. It's going to cost you a little bit extra. On the very, very cheap side in the US, you'll maybe find it for $50 for a cut-in, but probably $100 or even potentially more than that if you live in a major metro. So I know that you can find units, and I'm not saying that I use Lord Hair. When I do have a hair system, I don't have a hair system right now, but Lord Hair, you can find units for about $200 to $250, and even if you get a new unit every single month and you get a cut in, that's going to run you eventually $300 to $350 ish, right? So if you're going to get a new unit every single month, that's not terrible in my opinion, and I would say that it's a doable thing. My question to you would be, why are you getting a new unit every 3 weeks or every month? First off, you might need some maintenance every 3 weeks. It might be 4 weeks, maybe even more than that, or potentially less at the beginning. And that's something to note as well. When you're first walking into this journey, you're probably going to need to find the right bond. It's probably going to take you a little bit more time than you want. It might take, multiple applications until you find really what the right system is for you. And be patient through that. Know that it's a phase and it's not going to last forever. Don't shave your head like I did. You'll regret it. But regardless of that, I'm assuming since they want to give you a new unit every single 3 to 4 weeks, it's probably either a thin skin or a Swiss lace. Now, there are people online that do make their units last longer. I've seen some people who have gone 4 or 5 months on a poly unit, so a thin skin unit, and that's great if it works for them. Of course, you're going to have some degradation of, there's going to be some thinning of the hair. And you also have to take really good care of the base, too. There is a chance that these are very fragile if they're thin skin and Swiss lace. They're very fragile. And because of that, they can rip, they can tear. And once that happens, it's kind of it's game, set, match. I think that maybe there's a way to rehab them, and that might actually make an interesting video. If you are going to get a unit every single month, I don't think $379 is that terrible if you're going to have it cut in, right? Because you need to have every new unit cut in, and the application. But if price is your main factor, like you want to keep it as low as possible, you don't need a new unit every single month. You just don't. Even thin skins, you should be able to get 3 to 4 months out of consistently and reliably. And if you're going with something else, potentially, maybe even longer. There's people who are going longer than that. So, yeah, man, I hope this helps. It's one of those things where, people sometimes don't want to pay the individuals at the hair salons for their services. But remember, too, if you go to them, they do have expertise. They've learned how to do it. They've spent time, energy, and money training themselves, and now they either own a studio or they have to pay rent to a studio every single month. They do have their overhead plus the ingredients like adhesives, adhesive remover, the wigs themselves, obviously, or the hair systems themselves, all of the trimming tools. You know, it's a business, and there's expenses, and of course they need to make margin on it. They have to feed their family. So I don't think there's anything wrong with paying someone to get it cut in, to have it done really nicely. In fact, I mean, if you're going to get a hair system, my thought is, why not get it cut in by someone who knows how to do it right, and who really gives you a top-notch job. There's no point in going 75% of the way and spending $200-$300 on a hair system unit to get a bad haircut that doesn't look right with you and for you and doesn't match up to your bio hair. So those are just some thoughts. You don't have to necessarily take that into consideration, but if you are looking to spend less money, I would just say stretch out the units longer. You should be able to do that. No questions asked. If money is no object and you're cool with spending, $4,500 a year on new units, then yeah, get a new unit every single month, and I don't know, maybe resell them on eBay. No, I'm joking. Don't do that. But yeah, so the one last thing I'll say is you send me some pictures from the hair studio that is going to be doing the hair restoration, or give you your hair system unit. I'm looking at the haircuts that they have given men with these hair systems, and they're pretty good. But you'll notice that for the most part, they're really all more mature men, and they are kind of simpler haircuts. These are not very complicated, very sophisticated haircuts, and it's something that I would definitely consider if you are trying to get more of a trendy hairstyle, because if they're not used to doing these kinds of cuts on men, if they're not used to doing like trendier stuff, you really might want to consider going somewhere else, somewhere that has a proven track record. Of course, if you want to give them a try, who knows, it could be great for you. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. Guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you have anything that you want to talk about with me, you can leave me a comment, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, all of that jazz, and you can get directly in touch with me. I can actually answer your questions here in a video so that everyone can see, and they can all gain the information and the insight that I'm spending time and learning for us as a community. Hope to see you in the next one.